Good morning. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with these lesser leagues. I don't like losing money. I do go through a lot of checklists before I trade or pass on a trade. Here, Hermannstadt 0-1 down to an early goal. Looks like the end of the first half. Utterly dominant. Odds on favourite at home. Utterly dominated the in-play stats, but 2 shots, 2 goals. I can't do anything about this. Maybe those who are collecting the in-play stats are wrong or over-enthusiastic. I don't know. But this, an absolute shock to see a second goal late on. Now, in future, don't forget, if you've taken out insurance and things aren't going your way, you can cash out of both of your insurance premium and the market you've got involved in, either the match odds market or Hermannstadt +1. So please remember that in future. If you don't see that goal, you can cash out. So after that frustration of passing it on to members, because it was my day off, I thought this was a rock solid one. I kept my mouth shut afterwards, but I carried on trading, and I'll talk you through a few of these. So let's have a look. Espanyol and Mallorca yesterday. A focus again on the elite leagues would have yielded you 3 matches of interest yesterday. So we're looking at Italian Serie A, Verona against Cremonese. The problem with taking this 0-0 on here, despite what's happened to Cremonese, excellent start to the season. And they've got old Jamie Vardy up front. I thought there was a familiar sight when I was watching the match. This was again attack v defence. Cremonese quite clearly looking for a counter, but I wouldn't have taken that 0-0 on personally myself. Como against Genoa. Como opened the scoring, 1-1, 1-0, and with that in mind, I didn't trade any further there. Como I fancied in a readable match. Had Genoa scored first, I would have been very interested, I think. Don't forget goals, 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 goals in the Eerste Divisie. The other elite league, Espanyol and Mallorca. This was a tradable match at 2-1, as I'll come to. I've got a very special technique of getting involved while covering insurance. The rewards aren't massive, but it was a readable match. Espanyol were leading 2-1 before the red card. Mallorca's in-play stats were superb, and it's also a great example to you of cashing out at the 2-2. I was expecting Mallorca to win v10 men, but no, Espanyol got the win. So the Mallorca play, I went +1 with insurance. I cashed out. Had I not cashed out, I would have lost a lot, as Espanyol got a very, very late winner. Hacken and Qarabag. What I did here, I was experimenting a little yesterday, getting frustrated on Sunday with losing money on the draw all the time while calling the match correct. It's very, very frustrating that you make a loss and you've called the result, i.e. the equaliser, etc. So we get an equaliser here from Hacken. This was a risky play, as you can see in the final result. But I was just looking for the odds move, which was from there to there. The in-play stats will reveal what kind of a mood Hacken were in the first half. That's why I looked for that goal. Did it with insurance. Well, what I did in this case, I also backed Hacken in the +1 market as well. So, experimenting yesterday. My normal stake is £40, so I'll do my usual, laying over 1.5 goals, going match odds, half stake Hacken to back, half stake as liability, lay Qarabag. I also laid over 1.5 goals again for another £40, backed Hacken +1. That covers the draw. I got out at 1-1. Very good profit getting out at 1-1. I couldn't risk the liability looking for a Hacken winner, which didn't eventualise. I was just looking for the equaliser. So that came off quite well. AIK and Brommer. Again, this was all about the in-play stats yesterday. Not the greatest profit in the world, but this is what the first half markets are there for, to create some value for you. AIK 0-0 in the first half, absolutely bossing the in-play stats. So having an in-play stats feed in football trading is vitally important. See on the left-hand side here, move this down to the first half and it's one-way traffic. When you see one-way traffic like this, for an odds-on favourite at home, you might want to look at them leading at half-time, which I looked at. I went 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted. £10 liability, £10 profit on the 1-0. I'm looking for break-even or a marginal gain. I'm looking for more interest in these higher quotes here so I can load up profits if they really come alive. So at 1-0, did the job, got the goal before half-time. So I was delighted with that. Marginal profit from Isherwood. But what did interest me yesterday was the AFC Champions League. Now maybe it's because I'm in Asia, but I took an interest in it and there was coverage. I could watch the matches. There was big names as well, or relative. So the two matches I played yesterday, Al Wahadi from the UAE against Al Ittihad, after Al Ittihad were red carded, and Al Ali with Ivan Toney up front, along with another famous face I can't remember. Oh, Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side, 1.14 favourite. Remember that. This was all about the red card, Al Wadi. So let's have a look at this match. It was liquid, being the AFC Champions League, but I wasn't confident enough passing this on to you because it was a complicated play. So we've got a lead. We've got a red card. That's interesting. We've got in-play stats again. I double-checked these things. So the Hermannstadt was an anomaly. And it's one-way traffic again for Al Wadi taking advantage even before the red card. They were dominating the match. 10 total shots, only the one on target. 7 corners to 1 as well. All attacking pressure. 7 shots inside the box to 0. This is where these stats come in handy. 27 touches in the opposition box to 2. Now you know why I was interested in this one. So what I did here, I went +1 again, and I went match odds again. So you see the stakes there. Limiting my liability on the draw. In cases like this with a red carded side, you're not getting much value. So I waited for the win. Thankfully it came late. And also with Al Ali and Nazaf, I think it was a 0-2 lead for Nazaf. This was a very decent profit, £75 profit there. But don't forget, this is doubling my stakes to £78 or £80 from 40, just for yesterday. For Al Ali, you can see, I think I graduated, well, 1.95, backed Al Ali at 4.6 as well, and laid Nazaf at I think 1.89, which for a red carded side leading was very generous indeed. So I got back yesterday. I got back nearly all the profit I lost from Sunday, but I did double my stakes because I was just feeling confident in my plays, apart from Hermannstadt, which I did double my stakes on that one as well, and that didn't come to fruition. Very, very frustrating opener that. So I'm sorry if you got all quiet after that one. Just on my day off, I just felt a little embarrassed having popped on to give you something solid, and they do that to you. Awful stuff. Cup day today, largely speaking. I don't know if we'll get many plays out of the Cup, particularly FA qualifiers. I'd be interested to look at Jersey Bulls. I come from Guernsey. We don't have an FA Cup team, alas, but the Jersey Bulls likely to be done by Worthing today. just no strength in depth from the jersey. It's only population of 70,000. So if you're watching that one this evening, jersey balls should be gettable. EFL Cup, well, you've already seen with Manchester United pretending they were interested in an EFL Cup run. Grimsby taking advantage and getting through. Just going to be my concern with Aston Villa today. They're already having a very, very poor season. They don't want to have this nonsense blocking up their fixture list. So I don't expect a solid performance from Aston Villa at all. But it's not a competition I'm interested in. Premier League sides are likely to be fielding weakened first 11s to use some of the squad. Palace against Millwall, that's a little bit too shy for Crystal Palace. Millwall, if they're up for the cup, and a Crystal Palace weakened team, those odds are far too short for me. EFL Trophy, likely to be goals based. The under-21 sides do tend to be gettable in this competition, so do watch out for that if they score first. Professional Development League is an over 2.5 goal league. It's quite simple. You look at the English Professional Development League yesterday. If I can get the words out. 0-3 and 3-2. So we're just trying to find a 2.5 goal angle. But I prefer reactive trading to waiting for a goal to come in, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't like these systematic trading. But I'm working on it for you for a bet and go strategy. I'm recording the 2.5 goal selections. And after a month or so, we'll be able to analyse and see whether we've got a consistent angle that we can use for bet and go and indeed for trading. It's all about the timing of the first goal when you're backing over 2.5 goals as a trade. It's all about that first goal. Does it come in early enough for you to cash out immediately? Does it come late enough for you to delay entry into the market? Champions League phase. So it's all getting going now in the league element. Arsenal dominating the league, as you can see there. No, I'm joking. All the Brits on the top 6. So we're getting into a league phase now where I think 3 into 36, 8, and then 24. So 12 teams will not be making it through this league phase. Atletico Bilbao losing at the weekend 0-1. It was a trade. It was a trade with insurance because of this Champions League. Their loss at the weekend was purely down to this competition, the distraction of it. One of quite a few teams struggling at the weekend. Arsenal, very, very defensively solid. Need to have the likes of Kai Havertz back up front, I think, just to give them that Champions League polish. The centre-forward line is not your first 11 centre-forward line. That's the only real weakness from the arse this evening. PSV Eindhoven against Royale Union SG. It's a Benelux country derby. I don't have a strong opinion on pretty much any of these matches. Benfica drawing at the weekend at similar odds, 1.22 to 1.25 at the weekend. Qarabag struggled at the weekend domestically in Azerbaijan, all because of this match today. Benfica have already excelled earlier on in early qualifying matches against pretty decent sides like Nice. So I think Qarabag are there for the getting this evening. Juve and Dortmund, for me, is going to be a very, very tight match. Juventus getting that, getting the win against Inter Milan. Domestically at the weekend, Dortmund having an easy assignment at the weekend as well domestically. Juve's 4 goals against Inter Milan, very, very interesting. Can they light up like that today? Because Inter Milan, a pretty solid yardstick. Real Madrid against Marseille. Marseille, I would favour them a lot more at home. Real Madrid, again, nearly cocking things up at the weekend, leading 0-2, red carded, comes back to 1-2. Tottenham excelled at the weekend under Frank. Villarreal, the Yellow Submarine, very difficult team to read. So jury is out on that one. Bologna against Bastia. And we can have a quick look. Well, it's not looking very appetising. Bologna and Bastia, is it? 3 1-0 defeats and a 1-2 loss to Laval. And that was a penalty. So real troubles in front of goal for Bologna. That could be an angle in, could it? If they score first, are they really going to follow up with a second goal? Their only goal in 4 matches, was a 90th minute penalty. Bastia scoring more often, but in only 2 matches. Failed to score away. Back 0-0 or just leave it alone. It's an awful quality match, isn't it? 2.4 the favourite tells you everything. Liga Ha'al, 1.3 away favourite Maccabi Tel Aviv. If it's liquid, could be tradable. Problem with the Israeli league, again, like Romania, you're more likely to hit a loss going to these other than elite leagues. Eerste Divisie, well, you know the drill with that. Goals, 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 goals. And the Superettan doesn't look appealing today, Helsingborg and Landskrona. We can have a quick look at the Superettan. Go here. Don't have an opinion on the match. So it looks to be, excuse me, looks to be the Champions League that we'll be interested in today. Helsingborg and Landskrona. Unless there's a strong angle here, but I doubt it. So it's really a Champions League day today. Not in the greatest form in the world, are they? But 3 wins in 4 for Landskrona. Just have a look at the stats. Well, 2 consecutive clean sheets at home for Helsingborg. Might offer them something. 11th against 9th. Notable for me, only 1 defeat for Helsingborg at home against 6th and lower. Real trouble scoring that second goal against 6th to 12th. Playing 9th today. 3-3. No trouble scoring that second goal in the head-to-head. Landskrona, for their sins, looks pretty decent as well, don't they? Only 1 loss. 2 losses against 7th and lower. Came against the same team. Does augur well for today, doesn't it? It's a difficult match to unpack, that one. I wouldn't necessarily be favouring the home side at all. Elsewhere, I might be interested again in these Asian World Cup qualifiers. They had an interesting amount of liquidity to them. I can get the match live. So I don't know if you want me to pass on any play like I did with those 2 yesterday. And they're very interesting matches yesterday. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but both teams involved have got a fair few quid, and there was a lot of extra time waiting for the Al Wada winner. Watch. 98th minute winner. Fancy that. Now let's have a look at the other match with Al Ali yesterday. Let's just remember, 98th minute winner. Okay. Al Ali coming from 0-2 down. Norchev, very good finisher. And off we go. Courts struggles. Milot making it 1-2. Milot making it 2-2, 68th minute. And then, do I cash out or do I stay in? Well, looking at Al Wada, the referee's going to give you as much time as you need to get the winner. How about the 94th minute, Riyad Mahrez? So a bit of quality turning up and getting the result. 94th and 115th minute. So that's something for you to think about in these AFC Champions League qualifiers, particularly when you've got money bags involved at home as well. A very generous extra time from the referees for the home sides to conveniently get the 3 points. Allegedly, of course. So who have we got today? Al Hilal. Is that Ronaldo's team? 1.25 home favourite. Saudi side to fit in with what I saw yesterday with those late wins. So that's on the radar, that's for sure. The others, they're not very strong favourites, and they're not money bags. Maybe Shabab against Tractor from Iran. Those could be the two of interest today. Money bags and odds-on favourites. Okay, nice and simple. I will pass it on today with any warnings about the competition, like Romania. If you want a more consistent profit, you stay with the Elite Leagues. There is no Elite Leagues today. The Elite League version would be the Champions League. So I'll be up and about for that today. Very difficult to unpack, though. It's all about in-play stats. Have a great day today. And I hope to see you on Telegram members a little bit later.